What's up, Raider Nation? Today's news is guaranteed to hit you right in the heart. We've got behind-the-scenes moves that could reshape the future of the silver and black. Big names are being targeted, and key decisions are being made as we speak. But here's the million-dollar question. Are we on our way back to greatness or heading straight for a massive mistake? You won't believe what's going on. So get comfortable, drop a like, and let's dive right in. If you thought this week's visits were just another off-season protocol, think again. What went down at the Raiders training facility was way more than a simple meet and greet with three young prospects. Quinn Ewers, Ashton Jeanty, and Mason Graham all showed up together on the first official day of voluntary workouts. That, my friends, is no coincidence. It's a statement of intent. Let's start with the obvious impact. Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. This guy isn't just on the list, he's at the top of it. His numbers last season? Insane. Over 2,600 total yards with elite field vision, burst off the snap, and most importantly, an ever-improving ability to catch out of the backfield. And here's a spicy detail. The only team that sat down for a meal with him after his pro day? The Las Vegas Raiders. That's no coincidence. It shows just how committed Pete Carroll and his son Brandon Carroll, our run game coordinator and O-line coach, are to rebuilding a physical ground and pound identity. Now check this out. While Jeanty is already a fan favorite, the visit from Michigan's Mason Graham, a dominant defensive tackle, raised some serious eyebrows. Given our recent investments in the trenches and the growing influence of Tom Brady behind the scenes, he's got a real voice in the draft room. Graham feels like a perfect fit. Pairing him with Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins would create a D-line trio that sends a clear message to the entire AFC West. In Vegas, the game is going to be physical, intense, and downright nasty in the trenches. But the visit that stirred the most buzz and sparked the most debate among the fan base was Texas QB Quinn Ewers. Deep breath, Raider Nation, because this one's got layers. Ewers is the only quarterback from the 2025 class to have a top 30 visit, a combine meeting, and a pro day appearance with the Raiders. Translation? This team is seriously thinking about developing a quarterback for the future. Ewers brings a big arm, high football IQ, and off-the-charts potential. Sure, he's raw, but with Geno Smith locked in for the next 2-3 years, this is the perfect situation to let Ewers grow under a vet and a revamped offensive system. And let's be honest, bringing these three in on the same day wasn't just calculated, it was loud. If the goal was to turn heads, mission accomplished. But here's the real kicker. This might just be the first domino in a much bigger game plan. As Raider Nation tries to digest this bold move, another possibility is heating up. And this time, it involves one of the most talented and controversial prospects in the entire draft class, and his connection to a name we all know. You'll see. While fans are still reeling from the triple visit bombshell, sharp-eyed insiders notice something else. The Raiders have their sights on a defensive game changer. All-American Michigan. Cornerback Will Johnson. The news hit hard. Johnson is set to participate in a private workout with the Raiders as soon as he's fully recovered from a quad injury. The whist? That workout will happen right after his session with other teams. And guess who's first on his post-recovery schedule? You got it! The Las Vegas Raiders. Another coincidence? Not a chance. Sources close to the combine revealed that during the Raiders interview with Mason Graham, yes, the same DT who just visited, the staff asked about Will Johnson. They didn't just want to learn about Graham, they wanted insight on locker room chemistry. Translation? The Raiders are seriously considering drafting both players to build a defense with instant synergy. Now let's talk about Johnson. This guy isn't just another corner. We're talking about a 6'2" physical freak with lockdown man-to-man skills and elite route recognition, the kind of guy defensive coordinators dream of. Pete Carroll, a known lover of rangy, aggressive corners, won't pass on this type of talent. The immediate comparison? Prime Richard Sherman in Seattle. But here comes the dilemma. Is Johnson worth the 6th overall pick? Some in Raider Nation say it's too high. Others see it as a bold, visionary move, especially if a trade down is in the works. And yeah, we'll get to that. The Michigan Connection also strengthens Johnson's ties to Tom Brady, who's been increasingly active behind the scenes. Brady knows the program, the coaches, and he's laser focused on building a dominant defense to support a rebuilding offense. Now picture this: Max Crosby coming off the edge, Mason Graham collapsing the pocket, and Will Johnson locking down. WR1, that's a defensive dream come true, and a nightmare for Mahomes, Herbert, or anyone else daring to throw against us. And if you think these moves are bold, wait till you hear what might be brewing at the top of the draft. A surprise trade is on the table, and it involves a controversial name and a bold move that could shake things up. You know that feeling when something huge is happening behind the curtain. That's the vibe inside the Raiders war room, right? Now, while fans argue over who we should take with the 6th pick, the front office might be eyeing something bigger than just a player. They're hunting for strategic value. And that's where the potential bombshell comes in. A trade with the New Orleans Saints centered around one polarizing name, Shedeur Sanders. The smoke turned into fire fast. First came rumors of the Saints' obsession with Shedeur. Then came the proof. New Orleans QB and WR coaches were at Colorado's Pro Day, meeting face to face with Deion Sanders. The topic? Shedeur. Exclusively. And get this, Deion himself said he wants his son in a stable environment with high-level leadership. Sound familiar? That description fits the Raiders too. So why does this matter for Vegas? Because we hold the 6th overall pick. The Saints? Number 9. If they want to make sure no one jumps ahead to grab Shedeur, they'll need to move up. And guess who's perfectly positioned to make that deal? Yep. The Raiders. Let's talk connections. Tom Brady, who's become a trusted consigliere for the front office, is also a known mentor to Shedeur Sanders. He's close with Deion, respected by the family, and might just be the bridge that turns this into a done deal. Why would moving down help the Raiders? Simple. By trading back from 6 to 9, we could still land a top-tier talent like Will Johnson, or even a surprise WR, while also snagging an extra 2nd-round pick. That means more ammo to fix areas of need like O-line or wideout depth. For a team rebuilding its identity, that's a massive win. So here's the big question for Raider Nation. Do we stick with pick number 6 and grab someone like Ashton Jeanty for instant impact? Or trust the process, trade back, and build a deeper, more balanced roster? But hold on. Because if this trade actually happens, there's one offensive name who might fall right into Vegas. I'll lap at 9, and he might just be the most underrated weapon in the entire class, with a shockingly perfect connection to the silver and black. When Mel Kiper Jr.'s name pops up during draft season, people listen, whether they love him or hate him. And his final mock draft? It just made things a whole lot more intense for Raider Nation. At pick number 6, Kiper locked in a name that's been swirling around our fan base for weeks. Ashton Jeanty, the Boise State running back. This time, it's not just speculation. Kiper dropped the stats. The Raiders had the league's worst rushing attack last year, just 79.8 yards per game. Flat, predictable, stale. If Pete Carroll wants to flip the script over now, Jeanty is the answer, and the numbers back it up. In 2024, Jeanty racked up 2,261 rushing yards, showed elite contact balance, burst after the hit, and improved in pass protection. He's a true 3-down back, tailor-made for Carroll's style. If this offense is looking for an identity, it starts with the ground game. But here comes the controversy. Is it worth using the 6th pick on a running back? A lot of fans say that spot should go to defense or a premium playmaker like a WR or OT. Running backs are always a risky investment that high. But Kiper didn't flinch. Jeanty can instantly transform the Raiders' run game and ease pressure off the quarterback. And he didn't stop there. At pick 37, Kiper mocked UCLA linebacker Carson Susinger. The guy blew up in recent months, 115 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions last season. Kiper's take: an ideal partner for Devin, White and Landon Roberts. Covers the whole field and leads the 2nd level. That pick widely applauded. The linebacker room has been thin since Divine Diablo and Luke Masterson left. Suesinger adds toughness, speed, and leadership, a perfect fit next to White and Roberts. The kind of trio that could bring back that early 2000s defensive swagger. But even with two solid picks, Raider Nation remains split. Is it worth passing on premium talent at WR or OT to fix the run game and linebacker cores? Some fans online are calling it RB at 6 is insanity, while others are already ordering Jeanty's jersey. And here's the wildest part. If this mock plays out, the Raiders may have just passed on one of the most promising receivers in the draft for a pick that, while solid, carries huge risk. And now more than ever, the question echoes louder. Are the Raiders building a contender or gambling everything on potential? So tell me, Raider Nation, between the Jeanty gamble, the Saints trade buzz, the obsession with Will Johnson, and the Sue Essinger strategy, are we on the right path or digging a deeper hole? Is Pete Carroll sketching out a future champion or rolling the dice one too many times? Drop your take in the comments, smash that like button, and make sure you're subscribed.